50, who own your masters? I buy your masters. You better shut up. Because when you see me stand next to Big Meech, your knees buckle. Oh, my ops, friends is my ops. I'm my ops, all that fake talk. But when you see my brother DJ Khaled, you hug that boy and drooled on his Amiri.
50 Cent is living it up right now because Rick Ross just pulled a wild move that's got the whole internet going crazy. Word is, he scammed Big Meech out of something huge, and now Meech is so furious, folks are saying he might have put a hit out on Ross. Yep, it's that serious. But here's the craziest part. Everybody saw this coming, except Big Meech. The whole situation's blowing up online like it's the final episode of some messy reality show. Fans are watching every update like it's breaking news. Let's be real for a second. What did Meech really expect from someone who used to be a corrections officer? That loyalty was always shaky. This betrayal ain't even shocking to most people who've been paying attention, and now 50 Cent, he's out here clowning both Big Meech and Lil Meech with sneaky shots all over social media. Ever since Rick Ross threw him under the bus, 50's been in full troll mode. But here's where it gets really wild. Big Meech was out here hugging up on Rick Ross like he was some kind of savior the minute he got out of prison. Instead of laying low or showing love to the dude who actually stayed loyal, he went full fan mode with Ross. And let's not forget, Meech knew damn well that Rick Ross and 50 Cent been locked in beef for years. Now, 50 probably didn't expect Meech to throw hands or anything, but come on. Meech was out here cheesing in pics with Ross, acting like Ross held it down for him all those years behind bars. That had to cut deep, like a straight-up blade to 50's throat. And just when you think the disrespect was over, nah, it kept going. Big Meech doubled down by linking up with Floyd Mayweather, another person who's had issues with 50. Meanwhile, Lil Meech out here doing stuff just to spite the man who literally gave him $5 million and a whole career on a silver platter. Like, for real, is that how you show appreciation to someone who changed your life? That's not just disrespectful, it's straight up cold. Some folks love to say 50 Cent made millions off Big Meech's name, but at least he built something real from it. A hit show, a platform, a legacy? Now let's talk Rick Ross. What did he do besides treat Big Meech like a pawn in some clout-chasing chess game? Ross played it slick. He knew exactly what kind of storm this would cause, and he leaned into it like a pro, grabbing headlines and boosting his ego with every move. But the second things started getting messy, Ross pulled the oldest trick in the book. He backed away real quick before anybody could even react. And just like that, boom, out of nowhere, he's out here talking about some shoulder injury. Like, really? Suddenly, we're supposed to feel bad for him because his shoulder's acting up. Please. The internet saw straight through that move. It was the perfect excuse to duck all the heat and drama without saying a word. And here's the real twist. Ross didn't just fake sympathy with that injury. Nah, he used it to create space from Big Meech without having to admit anything. Cold move, but classic Ross. Rick Ross wasn't just using that shoulder excuse to dodge Big Meech, he was also ducking his own fans. Yeah, the same fans he finessed with that sketchy crypto coin, Boss Token. People online were furious, calling him Rug Ross, because he straight up pulled the rug out from under anyone who trusted him with their hard-earned money. And when it all crumbled, boom, he hit the ground hard, no safety net. And let's not ignore the timing. Just days after he lied to Big Meech and got put on blast, suddenly Ross shows up with a busted shoulder. That's suspicious, no doubt. It's giving strategic injury, like he was trying to slide out the back door without facing the mess he made. And here's where it gets even shadier. Word on the street is Ross was the one hyping Big Meech up behind the scenes, telling him to go ask 50 Cent for more money. Like, really? Stirring the pot, then stepping back? Like he had nothing to do with it? Now look at Meech. He's left empty-handed. No deals, no respect, nothing. It's gotten so bad that other artists are keeping their distance like the man's carrying some kind of curse. And those Wingstop franchises people thought Meech was going to cash in on? Apparently, Ross sold most of them off on the low, keeping just 2, and funneled the cash straight into his real estate hustle. It's a cold game out here, and Ross is playing it with zero remorse. If Rick Ross hadn't slid into the picture, With all that smooth talking and shady moves, Big Meech might have actually had a shot at a real comeback in the game. The streets were ready for it. Meech had the name, the story, the legacy. But instead of playing it smart, he let Ross steer the wheel straight into disaster. Every decision after that just got more reckless. And Lil Meech, man, he was out here wildin' with millions, dropping crazy money on Chrome Hearts jeans and luxury fits just to keep up with rappers like Gunna. No budgeting, no business moves, just flex after flex. Now, everything they had, gone, poof, just like that. Fame, fortune, all dried up. People on social media aren't even holding back, clowning Big Meech for how fast this so-called friendship with Rick Ross exploded right in his face. It went from cozy pictures and flashy promises to total chaos. And the loudest voice in the mix? Michael Rainey Jr. He didn't sugarcoat a thing. He straight up said he doesn't feel bad for either of them, Lil Meech or Big Meech. In his words, they're both grown men who should have seen the setup coming from a mile away. And 50 Cent, oh, he's loving every second of it. He's lurking in the shadows of the internet, dropping slick comments, laughing it up, and basically saying, I told y'all. It's like he's been waiting for this moment to flex on all of them, and he's not letting it slide. Everybody knows 50 Cent doesn't play when it comes to beef. Once you cross him, it's game over. Even DJ Vlad co-signed that energy. He said it himself. 50 is the last person you want to fall out with. He'll burn the whole building down just to prove a point, and he won't blink doing it. And let's be real, Big Meech ain't even the first person Rick Ross left hanging. Ross got a track record of leaving people stranded. Remember what he did to his own crew? Left them out in Canada, where they got jumped and handled dirty while he dipped out. And when he came back later, what did he say? That it was all some test to see how tough they were. Who even does that? That's not leadership. That's called calculated chaos. And honestly, this is exactly how Ross has been moving for years. Smile in your face, then vanish when things go south. It's all about self-preservation with him. Ross plays the long game, but only for himself. Everybody else, disposable. Even Whack 100 had to step in and call out Rick Ross for being the real villain in this whole mess between 50 Cent and Big Meech, and he saw it coming from day one. Whack straight up said Ross was playing both sides and setting Meech up for failure from the jump. Let's keep it real. Rick Ross was never a true friend to Big Meech. He had his own agenda from the beginning. He gassed Meech up, made him feel like they were about to run the game together, while low-key turning him against the one guy who actually gave him a platform, 50 Cent. Ross dangled big promises, talking about money moves, big business setups, and all kinds of flashy plans. But when it came down to action, it was all talk, nothing real behind it. And yeah, people might not always rock with Whack 100, but in this case, he hit the nail on the head. If Ross really wanted to help Meech bounce back, he would have moved in silence, handled things behind closed doors, and protected the bag. Instead, Ross was out here acting loud, mocking 50 online, bragging about buying the rights to the BMF series, and throwing Meech into a spotlight he wasn't ready for. That ain't help. That's sabotage dressed up as friendship. Rick Ross knew damn well he was never going to follow through on all those promises. And now, none of it's happening. He's gone completely silent when it comes to Big Meech. Not a word, not a post, nothing. The only thing Ross is promoting now is whatever's going to fill up his own pockets. And Big Meech? Yeah, he's no longer part of that money-making equation. But here's the part that really has people's jaws hitting the floor. Word on the street is Rick Ross was actually the reason Big Meech's Welcome Home benefit concert got shut down. Yep, all this time folks were pointing fingers at 50 Cent, but turns out Ross was the one pulling strings behind the scenes. And why would he do that? Simple. He didn't want Meech to shine, didn't want him making a major comeback and stealing the spotlight. Ross wanted Meech to stay tucked in the background while he played the good guy in public. Meanwhile, he was making sure Meech couldn't level up or reclaim his name in the game. That's the kind of double cross that hits different. And when 50 Cent finally broke his silence with that now deleted post, it spoke volumes. I had nothing to do with this. Please stop calling my phone. I sincerely hope you have a nice day today. Happy Valentine's Day. I'm stronger than you think I am. That's not just a message, it's a mic drop. He knew the truth, and now the world does too. A lot of people didn't believe 50 at first, but now everything's starting to add up real quick. Big Meech genuinely thought Rick Ross had his back, especially after that infamous BMF track where Ross rapped, "I think I'm Big Meech now." Wild, right? But here's the question that's got folks really thinking. What if Rick Ross didn't just admire Meech? What if he wanted to be him? Seriously, think about it. Rick Ross has built his whole image off the backs of real-life street legends, especially ones with kingpin status. That's not even a conspiracy, it's facts. He literally took his name from the real Freeway, Rick Ross, a notorious drug boss who was locked up at the time. And when the real Rick Ross got out, he called him out immediately and even tried to sue him for jacking his name and his identity. That drama kicked off around 2005, and by 2010, the lawsuits were flying. Ross stayed quiet, but the message was clear. He was building an empire off someone else's legacy. Back in the 80s, the real Rick Ross, the kingpin, filed a lawsuit against rapper Rick Ross for trademark infringement and jacking his identity. But Ross, aka William Leonard Roberts II, claimed he made the name up himself. Total cap. And in 2013, the judge ruled in favor of the rapper. Why? Let's be honest, he had the fame, the fortune, and the influence. Plus, let's not forget, the man used to be a cop. So everything was already tipping in his favor from the jump. Here's the kicker. The judge said his use of the name was protected by the First Amendment as free speech. Just like that, the real Rick Ross lost, and the rapper got to keep the name permanently. So with all that in mind, is it really that crazy to think Ross was trying to run the same exact play with Big Meech? First, he drops that BMF song Flexin' like he is Big Meech. And let's not forget, he pulled something similar with Larry Hoover back in 2021 too. This ain't new behavior, it's a whole pattern. Rick Ross got a long track record of using Larry Hoover's name, another real kingpin, just to chase clout in his music, all while Hoover was still locked up. He kept name-dropping him like they were tight, but when it came time to actually support Hoover's cause, Ross disappeared like smoke in the wind. Word on the street is that Ross even dropped millions to the gangster disciples just so he could keep using Hoover's name without catching heat. But when it was time to show real support, crickets, no action, no effort, just more lyrics and flashy lines making money off someone else's legacy. People weren't having it either. They dragged Ross all over social media, saying he was all bark and no backbone. Some still say, to this day, that he fumbled hard and was too shook to even show his face at the stadium, where support for Hoover was supposed to go down. And now, same story, different name. Big Meech gets the same fake loyalty treatment. History's on repeat. No wonder 50 Cent once said he's never respected Rick Ross as a person, because truth be told, dude can flip on you without warning. It's always about him. Let's just say this, 50 Cent is probably somewhere right now smirking his way through all this chaos. And the best part, he didn't even have to do anything. The whole situation flipped on its own, and 50's just chilling, stacking money and locking in new projects like a boss, while Big Meech and Lil Meech are allegedly out here bouncing from celeb to celeb, low-key begging for help just to stay afloat. And the wildest twist, Rick Ross was out here clowning 50, calling him broke, and laughing about him struggling to lock in that loan for his movie studio. Ross really thought he had something to flex, but guess what? That loan just got approved a few days ago. Now, 50's moving full speed ahead, and Ross? He's forced to watch it all happen from the sidelines. Fans are convinced Ross is probably out there punching the air right now, especially since just a few weeks ago, he was out here bragging about buying 50's masters, like that was even real. Looking back, that claim sounds like straight up nonsense. 50 didn't just win the war, he never even had to fight. When it comes to Lil Meech and Big Meech, it's clear they've learned some hard lessons. But at this point, it might be too late. 50 Cent's not looking to take Lil Meech back under his wing, and any help for Big Meech? That door looks like it's been closed for good. One person who's been real vocal about this drama is Zip with the Drip. He called it from the very beginning. He backed 50 and said straight up Rick Ross was going to flip on Big Meech sooner or later. And now, that prediction aged like gold. Ross bailed, and Meech is left with nothing but regrets. Fans have been going off online about it too, and most are saying it's a wrap for Meech's industry comeback. The one real shot he had, gone because he bet on the wrong team. You'd think all that time behind bars would have sharpened his game, or at least taught him how to move smarter. But nah, it's like he came out even more reckless. One user summed it up best. Let me get this straight, and you just know what comes after. That is nothing but pure truth and disappointment. A former corrections officer turning his back on someone who actually did time? Who didn't see that coming? And a two-faced dude getting played by another two-faced dude. There's only one word for that: karma. And this karma wasn't cold. It was served piping hot, fresh out the oven. But here's what I really want to know. What do you think about all this madness? Is Big Meech sitting back, quietly plotting some kind of revenge on Rick Ross? Or is he just gonna let this one slide, even though it's blowing up all over the internet? And let's not forget, Meech is also catching heat for allegedly backstabbing his childhood friend Cuff. So is this betrayal going full circle? Or is Meech just drowning in the mess he helped create? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're loving the drama, make sure to smash that notification bell so you never miss another spicy update like this one. It's only getting crazier from here.